Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I was heading into town to go to the studio, and I thought I had an 11 o'clock appointment at my accountant's, in which case I was going to run to the studio and start the editing process for the lecture videos. Takes a while to, import the videos or transfer them from the SD card over to the hard drive. Then you got to load them into the editor, and then the editor's got to build sound peaks, and you can work on it while that's going on, but there's some stuff to do. You got to sync sounds, blah, blah, blah. So it takes a while. It's hours and hours and hours of stuff. So I was like, oh, I got to get a jump on that. But I looked at my schedule. It's 1 o'clock, not 11. And my memory was seeing double vision there. So anyway, I gotta go get gas because I have my low fuel warning on. So I'm going to risk it, take you through the college and down West Confederate Avenue. Actually, no, yeah, we're gonna go a different way than we normally go. Maybe I'll show you one of the alleyways that you can use. Now, don't use this, don't go telling everybody about this because you're gonna ruin it for us locals during the summer. But we'll show you an alleyway that you can use when you're trying to get out to the First Days Battlefield or the seminary or West Confederate Avenue, and you want to avoid sitting in traffic on Chambersburg Street and or sitting at the light at Washington Street trying to get onto Chambersburg Street. Just use this alleyway. Now, we're coming from the college. This is Washington Street, okay, the nice part of it, and we're going to encounter that alleyway on the other side of the railroad tracks. Very exciting. Very, very exciting. I believe it is called Racehorse Alley. I think Racehorse Alley spans the whole town. Oh, Eric, you're going to the winter lecture this Saturday, yes. Good. I will see you there. Oh, the kids are back to school, right? Well, welcome, children. I don't care anymore because I don't live by your noisy asses. So here's the alleyway, right across from the 7-Eleven. You're gonna take this and you're gonna stay on it till you can't go anymore. All right, now it is bumpy here because for some reason they can't pave it. They just patch it. You know, it's when you're mismanaging funds. It's hard to keep the roads paved. So it's bumpy, so it's fun, like if you want to jostle the kids around in the back seat, tell them, hey kids, take off the seatbelts, and then drive really fast down this alleyway, and it's fun for the whole family. I should probably say don't do that because there's probably some moron out there who thinks that is a good idea. All right, so now here we are on Buford Avenue. Right across from Federal Point, there's Dunlap's, or Federal Point Grill, I think they call it now. And we're on Buford. We'll get to the top. I'll show you something else. Let's say you still took that shortcut and it's still crazy. We'll get to one of these streets. Look at that, look at that. There's the seminary. Have you seen the seminary from this approach before? Very nice. Very nice. Well, you probably can't see it because it's behind the trees. But it's up there, right there. Yeah, you can see it. All right, so we're gonna go. That was Elm Street, and now we're on North Hay. You could take Seminary Avenue to get here as well. And you could either go straight to West Middle Street and turn right, or turn right here on Springs Avenue. You can catch Springs Avenue anywhere that you can catch it. Now the seminary's off to our right. We're going to go to the intersection here and turn left. Left would be the opposite of right. And that's why we're turning that way, because it's also where we want to go. Now, I can't do a very long one because I'm dangerously low on gas according to my meter here, but whatever. We'll go. You know what? I'll find somebody to help me push to the gas station, right? Patreon.com/addressing Gettysburg or Super Likes. Okay, so Catherine says, good morning from Jersey. Love these morning drives. You're the best. I know, and thank you. I mean, oh, Catherine, you shouldn't have. Thank you. Just kidding. I'm in a good mood, so I'm going to play around. Thank you very much, Catherine. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Here's how bad my memory is. 12E Nerd and I were face to face the other day, and he told me that he was that and another name, and I can't remember who the hell it was I was talking to. Nope, still don't remember. I gotta get my brain scanned or something. I'm afraid it's like a tumor. I found, by the way, have you ever tried these? Hold on here. Wild protein chips. They're quote unquote potato chips, but they're actually chicken. Formed and crisped like a potato chip. So, you know, and they're good because we're doing the keto diet. It's 10 grams of protein, less than a gram of sugar, 8 total carbs, 2 dietary fiber. They're actually pretty tasty, and I actually kind of prefer them to, I'm saying kinda here, but actually, thank you, Eric, for the super like. I'm saying kind of, but I say that as an understatement, but I do. I like them, and they are tasty, and I do like them. And I prefer them to actual potato chips. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? Good morning, love the alley view. The alley view and Elm Street. Chet's grandparents lived it. Yeah, I remember. Marcia, do you know that house? I mean, I'm assuming they sold it after his grandmother passed. But that house has been like being renovated for like 5 years. Do you know the story? Oh, I know. Okay. 12E Nerd just reminded me who he was. Okay, thank you. I know who you are now. Morning from Kalamazoo, Michigan. Good morning, Kalamazoo. How are you? Kalamazoo. Gibson, the guitar company, also made organs in the 1960s, and they made the Gibson G101 Kalamazoo. And that's what the Doors used, among others, but that was the main organ on the road with the Doors. And there you have your useless fact of the day. Taco Tuesday on Saturday. Oh yeah, that's right. So a lot of things that we need to promote now. So, Taco Tuesday on Saturday, February 17th. It's trivia night at the seminary. Me, the Seminary Ridge Boys, and the Ragged Edge, all combining our talents and whatnot to, get you through that last bit of winter. And now it is Valentine's Day. It is Valentine's Day, but we figure most history nerds couldn't get a date to save their lives, so we're okay having it on Valentine's Day weekend. Here's our traditional shot of Pickett's Charge, and look at that. Isn't it as beautiful as it always is? Just lovely, lovely. And we move on. So, Taco Tuesday. Then April 5th through the 7th, I believe. Go and check for yourself, though. Adams County Historical Society, Ken Burns, the Gettysburg Film Festival. It's funny because I'm at this age where I'm happy to see an idea happen. Whereas, I used to be like, oh, I had that idea, blah, blah, blah. But, it's... Now I know how much goes into making an idea happen. And so you gotta kind of let go of that. So years ago, probably 18? No. 15 or so years ago, my friend Chuck and I, he was my landlord at the time when I had Gettysburg. He had this big, huge building. It's where the diorama is now. And he couldn't figure out what to do with it lucratively. And so we were always coming up with things, and we had this idea to do the Gettysburg Film Festival. But the difference was it was going to be independent films, not history-based films. But never came to fruition. But it's coming to fruition now, and I have nothing to do with it. It's the Adams County Historical Society. Jake Borrett and Andrew have put that together, and it's hopefully going to be, it will be an annual thing, because movies are such an important part of history. There's movie history, but they shape the way Americans view history, which is also the crime, but it's also in many cases the only way most Americans would ever have heard of anything that ever happened before they were born, because the schools aren't telling them. And so movies are the way to get these stories out there, unfortunately. So anyway, they're an important part. So go ahead to their website and check out what it's all going to be about. Ken Burns is going to be there. We ran our first spot for it on AG Today last week when Andrew was on. We will continue running those. And what else? Oh, and then of course, most importantly, occurring at the Adams County Historical Society is on March 16th. Spotlight On Tim Smith and Gary Edelman. If you're a patron, you know what the Spotlight On shows are. They're biographical interviews with the big wigs in our little orbit here. The guests that we have on the show, guides, historians, professors, whatever they do. Even, I got one of 6 questions lens in the can. People who are just interesting, that I find interesting, I think you might find interesting, people we all already find interesting, whatever the case may be. That's what Spotlight On is. And it's biographical. It's about getting to know them. How did they get to where they are today? What did they do? What are their other interests? Things like that. It was originally going to be Tim Smith, and then I had Gary on a couple weeks ago to talk about, what do you call it? Photography, Civil War photography. And at the end, at the end of the show, but after the show, we were just talking, and I said, yeah, I'm doing this Spotlight On thing with Tim. And I go, actually, it might be good with the two of you. And he's like, I would do it. And I go, all right, let me think about that, because usually I just do a singular Spotlight On. But then I remembered, no, I broke that mold, because in November I recorded a dual Spotlight On with Cody Aish and Pete Neely over at the seminary, Ridge Museum and Education Center, and it was funny and it was fun, and we got to know about these guys, and people seem to like it in the audience, so we're going to do it again. And so Gary and Tim will be, and it makes sense, right? They love history, they're best friends, And how did they meet? You know, what paths were they on before their paths crossed, and then how did the two paths, you know, come together every once in a while to be the historians that we all know and love, who have, by the way, influenced and intimidated, and I say intimidated in a good way, of Gary. When you see the videos that people make with their wild hands, the hand gestures and everything, you know, that's a uniquely Gary on. I gotta do this. You don't. It helps. You got to be somewhat animated, but you don't have to be that animated. And so, you know, to get the guy to the license, but I don't know anything like Tim Smith knows things. And I always say, that's not what you're tested on. That's Tim. Tim has that kind of a brain. Tim is always going to be that way. That had nothing to do with getting the license. And but it's still hard for people. I say that to people, and even I know that I have that, what do you call it? That insecurity in my mind. I can't even remember who I was talking to yesterday or Saturday who told me who he was here online, what his handle was. You think I'm supposed to remember all these historical facts and details and names and colonels of this regiment? Please, I'm never going to do that. And then when I sit down and I talk with Tim, and you know, you could ask him any question, and he'll go through that brain and he'll find the answer. It's intimidating. It makes you say, I'll never be able to do that. But luckily for all of us, that's not what they're testing. So get that out of your mind. But anyway, Tim and Gary, March 16th. It's available now. Go to addressinggettysburg.com. I think it should be under the events tab, but I think Mike accidentally put it under the Our Shows tab. So it's either under one of those, or if you follow us on Facebook, I shared the link there. If you're a patron, by the way, you got a discounted rate on Patreon. So, you know, another perk of joining. So if you're a patron, you got the link already, and you have your discounted rate there. What else? What else? I feel like there's something. Oh, summertime, July 27th, I believe. The great Billy Webster is bringing his band of merry musicians down to do the Marching Through Georgia album live. If you don't know what I'm talking about, billysongs.com and look for the album called Marching Through Georgia. It is all Civil War songs done in a kind of modern punk rockish. It's not all punkish, because there's some that sound kind of like country. Billy's very eclectic, and he said that was the thing the record labels always told him, was it was too eclectic. They didn't know how to sell him, so he never really made it big, which is a shame, because he's a very talented guy, and I think you'll see that's true. If you listen to AG Today, we use the songs for the bumpers. The end song on Ask a Gettysburg Guide, Gary Owen, is Billy. And, you know, Billy's all over this show. And he does a great job, I think. I love what he does. And so I asked him to come down and do a concert. So this would be a show, folks, where you don't actually have to sit and listen to me. You can actually be entertained for once. And Billy is going to come down and do those shows, or do those songs. I think the most you're going to have to hear from me is when I introduce him. And so that'll be a nice treat for all of you guys. And then I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for the fall show, but it's going to be another Spotlight On. With whom, I'm not sure. We owe you one for Pete Carmichael. But I have a couple of other ideas. I don't know what to do. And that's the sad part. But we'll figure that out. We've got a little more time. But the idea is that the tickets are going to be on sale for all these things, but before the end of February. My goal was the 1st of January, but my December turned out to be a fustercluck, and I got nothing that I intended to do done, because everything else that ever existed in the world decided to occur and require my attention those 3 weeks. So that is that there. Let's see. To head to the car wash. I wish I had a chunk. I'm sorry. I have a chunk of frozen goodness causing my ride not to drive so good. Oh man, it's 26 degrees here, but that's kind of a fluke. I can't imagine you guys with the. Kevin says it's -4, feels like -27. Oy vey. Jesus, no thank you. Where are you, Kevin? Michigan? Yeah, you're in Michigan, right? BKW has a foot of snow for the second day in a row. Bet you didn't mean to rhyme there, but you did, and that was fantastic. All right, let's see. I'm scrolling back here. Okay, moving there. Kalamazoo, Taco Tuesday. There it goes. Yes, it was sold twice. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you, Marcy. Snow day, so spending it with you. I'm so sorry, Kevin. Jim says, Matt, on the keto diet, how do you take your coffee with heavy cream and Splenda Black? So coffee has been quite an issue for Cindy. She's one who loves her coffee with her flavored creamer, which I used to too. Until I realized there's no cream in the flavored creamer. It's water and a bunch of chemicals. And I was like, meh. Here's what I do with keto. I start off by doing heavy cream and coconut oil. I don't like Splenda. I don't like any artificial sweeteners. I honestly, we tried, what are the other two that stevia and monk fruit. And it all tastes like Sweet and Low to me. So I don't know what people are tasting where they're thinking that that's a good substitute for sugar. But whatever, it's better than Sweet and Low. It's better than Splenda. And when you mix it with the heavy cream, it's actually not that bad. But then Cindy heard from a friend of hers who did keto that she used to use, what's the brand? There's a brand that they have at like Sam's Club. I've seen them elsewhere, but it's like protein. Is it Protein Plus? But it's a protein shake, and she said she used that instead of creamer, with heavy cream to flavor it, and you're getting a little protein with your coffee. So I do that, but I'm fine with coffee, heavy cream, and coconut oil or butter on top. I don't need the sugar, because the heavy cream, especially with the coconut, after a while, once you get used to not eating sugar, and it takes a week or two for me, once you get used to not eating the sugar, you suddenly notice the natural sweetness of other things, and it's sufficient for you. It's really disgusting how much sugar we eat. And I'm not getting preachy here. I just I remember when I first started to fall off the wagon when I did keto 5-6 years ago. It was around Halloween. The office I was working at, all the ladies had bowls of candy on their desks. So anywhere I walked, there's like all this candy, and I love Reese's peanut butter cups. And I said, well, one's not going to hurt me. I lost a lot of weight. I've been doing really good. This is me now. Bullshit. So I had that one, and then the next day, well, one today isn't going to hurt. And then, whoa, one handful isn't going to hurt. And then, oh, you got Crackle and you got Kit Kats, and okay, I'm off keto. Because then it was like, well, and then Thanksgiving's coming up, and turkey and stuffing and mashed potatoes, and okay, well, oh, and then Christmas is after that, same deal. You know what? Let's take a break, and then I'll get back to it after the year. And I never did. And then I got fat. I was never like, I was really skinny as a kid. But then as soon as I hit puberty, I had this tremendous appetite, but no energy. Like, I didn't have the energy to run it off. It was weird. Well, because depression started too. So there was a double whammy there. So anyway, then I gained the weight back and I got fat in a disgusting lard ass mess. And I could just, you can feel it. And there's certain things that are, like putting your shoes on. When you start to have to exhale in order to put your shoes on, you know that your belly's getting too big. So I had to get this under control. And I have to say, I this morning I looked in the mirror and I'm like, oh, wait a second. There looks like there's some svelting going on. So it does seem to be working. And I mean, not drastic, but like a millimeter has come off. So a little dab will do you, a little bit at a time. But yeah, if you can get through those first 2 weeks with any diet, I guess, any change in behavior. I love keto because I feel good. Yesterday I was getting hungry. What did I do? Let's see. Did I have breakfast? No, I didn't have breakfast. Wait, I'm getting gas. What am I doing? I forgot to eat breakfast yesterday, and then we had to go. But I had a coffee and with the heavy cream, So that makes you think you do something. And I think I might have taken a piece of cheese or something with me. And then we went to the lecture, and at the lecture I went over to the gift shop and got some turkey jerky. Not the gift shop, the whatever snack bar. And then but I was still hungry. But then after, we were both hungry, and I said, do you want to get lunch afterwards, or you want to go to Hollabaugh Brothers, which is the farmer's market that we like to go to? And she's like, let's eat. But then we were like, well, you know what? Why don't we just get something to hold us over and then go to the farmer's market and then go home and cook dinner? So that's what we did, and we got to the farmer's market and it was closed, and I was like, I don't understand this. I got a text from you guys saying we miss you. You know how you can sign up for texts for coupons and stuff. So I don't know what that was about. But anyway, we finally ate. So I was hungry that whole time. I was running out of steam when we went to Giant too. So I was running out of steam in Giant, but I wasn't hangry. I was just hungry and getting tired. And then we went home and we made this pizza casserole, basically. So it's all the ingredients of a pizza except the dough, and you put it in an iron skillet, and it's great. Not recommended if you're lactose intolerant, which neither one of us are, but it's a lot of cheese. But you can put whatever you want in there. We put pepperoni and sausage in, and some tomato sauce from Rao's, R-A-O, which is pretty good. And yeah, so all right, enough about that. I love it though. Let me think here, or not think. Let me go back. All right, for the Keto diet. Okay, damn Kevin, so much off the heat of Mexico or Michigan, right? So called. SP, good morning. Freezing our asses off here in Illinois. Doggies don't seem to mind it until their paws freeze and they start limping. Oh, yeah. BKW says, wow, grass? Become a history nerd after you get married. Bet that's not easy. Bought the ticks over the weekend for Taco Tuesday and the March live show. Awesome, Eric. Thank you very much. Kevin says, Ghost, did you catch the Lions game? Okay, we got Eric says, hoping to get the film festival tickets today. There you go. I think JD from History Underground is going to Kensington. Yeah, he'll be there as well. How's it been? Okay, great. We have a foot of snow, and it's -12 for the second. Oh, -12. I worked downtown Detroit in the afternoon. It was a collective town. That's awesome. Next weekend I'll be there. Head of the car wash. I have a chunk of frozen goodness. I think I read that one. Like an awesome panel. Okay, all right. Tim Smith's brain is intimidating. Tim Smith himself, not so much. Right. Happy MLK Day, everyone. When I am intimidated, I lash out physically. Who's that ghost? Talking to Tim Smith is intimidating. That's good, Mike. I like that one. That is clever. 6 questions. That move saved the union. Okay, love hearing from you, Matt. What? Jennifer says, love hearing from you, Matt. Kevin says, I'll second that. Oh, because I was saying you don't have to deal with me when Billy's there. Yeah. Oh, well, okay, so there's 2 of you. I fought my 5th battle with COVID last week. 5th battle with COVID. So it's the common cold, is what we're saying. -2 and snowing in Denver. Michigan, top of the food chain. Gotta love the polar vortex. Okay. Is that what we're having, a polar vortex? Okay, bitter. Oh, I love Reese's. Yeah, who doesn't love Reese's Cups, right? Oh, but see, this is the thing. Now, the keto, if you're into that stuff, the keto thing, like every other fad, is, something that other companies have started to market items for. So, there are keto candies that you could get. Not candies, but like, there's peanut butter cups that we get that are really good. And, friendly. And other things, fat bombs and all these other things you can get. And it's like, here's the thing, it's like when you diet, right? People eat salad, they eat bland food, and maybe they'll lose some weight, but it's bland. Keto is all the stuff I love. Fatty meats and, it's like, I love it anyway. All I'm doing is cutting out bread and sugar. And, certain root vegetables and things like that. It's easier to stick with it. I was the same way during the holidays. It's hard trying to lose weight during the holidays. Found self-control. And not eating everything on my face works wonders. Also physical. Yeah. Well, that's the next thing. I got to start moving. The pizza casserole. Yeah, it was very good. Barbara, which one did you get? We got the pizza sauce, and it was pretty good. We also got another one the other day. I forget. It was probably just a regular marinara sauce. And I'm very picky when it comes to Italian food because, I grew up in New Jersey, and we have a lot of good Italian restaurants there. And so jarred sauce to me is like, you do not have jarred sauce. You make it at home. And I make a sauce. But, we didn't have time. So, because it's an all-day thing, you leave it in the pot all day, slow cook it. So she found this sauce, she brought it home and made dinner, and I got home, and then I started eating. I'm like, where'd you get this sauce? And she's like, oh, it's Raoul's. And I was like, okay. Carbine Phantom said, went up a belt notch over the holidays. It's a battle every year. That's why I think we should cancel the holidays. I keep trying to get my family to just not do it, but they're like, oh, what about the kids? I'm like, the kids. They got enough gifts the last, 12 Christmases. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been spent on those kids' gifts, and they don't even know what they have. They could go without a Christmas. Nothing beats a nice homemade meat sauce. That is true. Miss the pasta, but I make do with zucchini and squash noodles. Yeah, but they have, those veggie pastas. Those are okay. Or at least I say they're okay, and I use them. They don't hold together, though, very well. We got some that were chickpeas. Yeah, they didn't really hold together too well. 17 and snowing in Cookeville, Tennessee. Ugh. I didn't realize it got that cold down there. Warming up to -3 where SB is today. Gene says, keto sounds like the Atkins diet. It basically is, although there's more... I think Atkins is high protein, middle range fat, and then low carbs, whereas keto's high fat, middle range protein. Matt, it's gravy, not sauce. Oh no, we're not getting into that one. Rediscovering my love for the Civil War history and only recently found this podcast channel and love it. Thank you, John Stewart. I've always been a fan of yours, and I think that the Daily Show went downhill after you left. So thank you very kindly. Michael, 6 questions, says, that's awesome, John Stewart. There's a lot of content to go through. That is true, Michael, and a lot more this year. We're going to videotape the Get Out of the Car tours. Nothing fancy, just but we will have them mic'd. I'm also going to keep track of when Matt Atkinson is doing some tours and mic him as well. And what else? I would like to do all of the battle walks, but time and money. It's always time and money. And what else? There's there's some other things. I think this year we're gonna start production on some series that would maybe at best start coming out next winter. If not during the spring of 25. Marcia, don't they call sauce tomato-based gravy? All right, so here's my take on that. You've got real Italians and you've got American Italians. And I'm not saying Italian Americans, I'm saying American Italians. American Italians are the Gavone types, the types that walk around with the wife beater shirts and the gold chains and they used to call them Guidos. They think that's what it means to be Italian. Meanwhile, a real Italian from Italy would spit on the ground if they saw that as their representative. And they're the ones that mispronounce all the way mozzarella and gabagool and all that crap. All that crap. There's a term that real Italians have for them, and I can't remember what it is. But anyway, I think the debate, whether it's gravy or sauce, is between them. I never gave a shit about it. It's all sauce to me. But yeah, I mean, I think technically if you're incorporating meat, even if there's not meat in it, but if meat is somewhere in the process of making it, then it's gravy, because it's like turkey gravy you make with the juice from the turkey. I don't know, and I don't care. Just put it in my belly. That's all I'm saying. One of Matt Atkinson's final questions will obviously be, when will he appear on the podcast? He has appeared on the podcast, Michael. I'll tell you, for the 80th time, he has been on the podcast. Twice. The second time has not been released yet. It is a spotlight on Matt Atkinson, done on the porch of his cabin overlooking the beautiful valley beneath it, looking out to Gettysburg. We did it back in May or June, and we just have not put it out yet because I have to go through it with a fine-tooth comb, and I don't have that time yet. And Vino Veritas says, love Matt Atkinson. Kevin Miller smartly says, love the podcast. Thank you, Kevin. Michael says, you have a nice camera now. I have a nice camera now, and I have lavalier mics that I can put on Lewis so that he'll always be heard, and you're not going to hear a lot of wind. You're not going to hear all the shit that gets in the way when people just use a cell phone. And that's why I haven't done it so far. I know there's ways that you can mic with a cell phone and everything, but like, I have to be the host. I have to make sure everything is running swimmingly. I can't be occupied doing video. So I found someone who said he would do the video. We're going to get together and talk about that and, go over the camera and everything like that. But it's going to be very basic stuff, very simple stuff, nothing fancy. The whole idea is it requires no editing or very little editing. Speaking of homemade sauce, we made and canned 125 quarts this summer. We're not Italians, but it's better than store-bought. That's true. It is, but store-bought is not the best. John Stewart, Dobbin House is great. Farnsworth. Oh, John Stewart asked the questions. What are the best local restaurants in Gettysburg? Yeah, listen to the audience. James G says, good morning, Matt. I just became a patron. I saw that. Thank you, James. So you can buy a truckload of firewood to have a bonfire with Cam to celebrate your subscriber milestone. Thank you, James. Looking forward to my online class tomorrow with Gary Gallagher. Oh, very nice. And Marcia says, LMAO, you make my day. Thank you. Love Matt Atkinson. Randomly ran into him at Gettysburg during my COVID visit. Yeah, he works here, so you will run into him, either at the visitor center or around town, I'm sure. All right, guys, I got to get going. Eric, thanks for the super like towards gas. I appreciate it. And the rest of you, thanks for watching. I hope you can warm up, for those of you in those horrible conditions, and move somewhere south. Get away from that. That's craziness. That's craziness. But take care of yourselves and have a wonderful week. Bye-bye.